We're back for some more fun and games as part of my 2023 Kickoff. And we're going to play another PS3 game, and it's Jeopardy! Let's see how it goes. Let's have a good game. Let's have a good game. Alright, let's have a good game here.
This is Jeopardy!
Let's do it.
Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trevette.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. Religion. TV shows that bombed. Made to measure. Quotable notables. Starts with the letter J. And Pulp Fiction. Player 1, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. In Asia, use a gu if you want to measure a cup of this for an electric cooker.
What is rice?
Okay, Player 1. Good. Player 1. Of about 30, 50, or 100 inches a year, the Earth's average annual amount of precipitation. Yes, Player 1.
50.
Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? Here's the correct response. 30.
Okay.
Player 1. Take a nibble if you want 4 of these binary units of computer code.
What are bytes?
Let's hear it, Player 1. No.
Take it.
Anyone else? It's Player 3. That's correct. Player 3, you're in command of the board as we continue. This unit equals 4 inches when measuring an equus caballos. Okay, Player 1.
What is a hand?
That's correct. You're out of the hole. Player 1. Nellis Air Force Base has 70,000 solar panels, which produce 15 of these units, 25% of the base's summer power. Let's hear it, Player 1.
What are megawatts?
Right. You again, Player 1. Black Star was created by Johnston McCulley, most famous for this hero, the best he ever created. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Who is Zorro?
Yes. All Story Magazine's October 1912 issue featured this hero in A Romance of the Jungle.
Who is Tarzan?
Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. You first serialized in Black Mask, the Maltese Falcon introduced the world to this detective.
Who is Sam Spade?
Let's hear it, player one. Good. Player one, Friedrich Schiller Faust wasn't a big name in this genre, but his pen name of Max Brand was. Okay, player one.
What is science fiction?
No, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player two. Yes. All right, let's get back into this. Player two has control. Under the name Maxwell Grant, Walter P. Gibson wrote about this pulp hero who knew where evil lurked. Okay, player one.
Who is Shadow?
Yes. Player one. The world will note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a military base. It's player one.
Who's Harry Truman?
That's correct. Traitors are not gentlemen, my good friends. They don't understand being treated like gentlemen. It's player one.
Who is Richard Nixon?
No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about Joseph McCarthy.
Oh, my second guess.
You again. 1976 will not be a year of politics as usual.
Who is...
Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. I shall not seek, and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president. It's player one.
Who is Franklin Roosevelt?
Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the response we were looking for. Lyndon Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Player one. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence. Yes, player one?
Who is Martin Luther King?
Nope. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player three? Nope. Any other takers? Player two. Right. Player two, where do we start? To cross the street illegally. Yes, player one? Hey, you're right. Okay, it's combat between two knights on horseback using lances. Let's hear it, player one. Hey, you're right. Breed of cows named for one of the Channel Islands. Okay, player one. Good. Player one. It's the Daily Double. You are in the lead. And the Daily Double clue. Many computer games use this lever. Congratulations, you're still in first, player one. Player one. A green mineral or a fickle woman. Player one. Right. We return to you. As part of Catholic baptism, this word doesn't mean time at the gym, but the casting out of demons. Okay, player one. Yes. Player Autobiography of a Yogi was a popular book by this religion's first missionary to settle in the U.S. Yes, player one. Good. Player 1. The church founded by Mary Baker Eddy in 1879 was formerly called the Church of Christ This. Okay, Player 1. Hey, you're right. At a deer park, Buddha taught the path of this many parts, part of the Four Noble Truths. Okay, Player 1. Hey, you're right. Let's take it over to Jimmy.
The nave, the central part of a cruciform church, ends in this recessed area that is usually vaulted.
Player 1. Right. Select. In a 2007 episode of this series, a terrorist detonated a low-yield suitcase nuke in Valencia, California. Let's hear it, Player 1. Yes. You again. Kelly will present this clue.
In an episode of this classic 60s series, bookworm Henry Bemis survives a nuclear war and finds a library, but then breaks his glasses.
Okay, Player 1. That is correct. Player 1. This series, Peter Petrelli had visions that he would cause a nuclear holocaust in New York City. Okay, Player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1. In a 1977 episode of this sitcom, Detective Diedrich notes that a student's physics project is a functional nuke. It's Player 1. Correct. And the last clue for $1,000. The nuclear blast that caused chaos in Jericho, Kansas was detonated in this state capital to the west. Player 1? Yep. Player 3 is going first in the Double Jeopardy round, which starts after this. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. Broadway debuts. Nigeria. What a gem. The 1920s. Literature. And say it in Spanish. Player 3, where do we start? As part of its 19th century territorial expansions, this nation colonized the Nigerian port of Lagos in 1861. Player 1? That's correct. Player 1. Known for his satire, Wole Soyinka became the first black African winner of this prize for literature in 1986. Yes, Player 1? You are correct. About a third of Nigeria's states in the heavily Muslim north follow this Islamic law system. Let's hear it, Player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? Here's the response we were looking for. Sharia. Please. Following ethnic clashes in 1966, the eastern part of Nigeria declared itself the Republic of this in 1967. Okay, Player 1. No, sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Biafra. You answer one of the daily doubles, and you have the lead. All right, here's your clue. Nigeria's first planned city. It was built in the 1980s and officially dedicated as the nation's new capital in 1991. That puts you even further ahead. Player 1. He made his debut as Katharine Hepburn's grandson in A Matter of Gravity, before flying high as Superman. Player 1. Correct. In 1995, Jolie Fisher made her Broadway debut as Rizzo in this musical. It's the word. Okay, Player 1. Correct. In 1999, Susan Lucci took aim at Broadway and made her debut as the title gal in this musical. It's Player 1. That is correct. He made his debut starring opposite Natasha Richardson in Anna Christie. They were married soon after. It's Player 1. Good for you. Player 1. In 2006, in her first big project since giving birth to twins, she starred on Broadway in 3 Days of Rain. Player 1. That is correct. You again, Player 1. As this 1931 novel begins, Wang Lung travels to the house of Huang to fetch his bride. Player 1. Good. Player Washington Irving based this character on his friend Jesse Merwin, a school teacher. Okay, Player 1. Good for you. Player 1. Upton Sinclair's 1927 novel Oil was based on this presidential scandal of a few years earlier. Player 1. Right you are. So, in the Oxbow This, vigilantes hang 3 men falsely accused of cattle rustling. Yes, Player 1. Good. Answer. The second daily double. And you have the lead. How much? Okay, here is the clue. The title of this Steinbeck novel refers to a district above Monterey inhabited by paisanos. However, you keep your lead. Here's what we were looking for. Tortilla flat. Please pick again, Player 1. On January 7th, 1927, transatlantic phone service began as the president of AT&T called this world capital. Let's hear it, Player 1. You got it. Player Chicago 1. Gangster Dion O'Banion, who started the practice of lavish arrangements at mob funerals, had this civilian trade. Okay, Player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player 3? Hey, you're right. Good. Back on the plus side. Player 3, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? This greenish-blue gem is so popular in the Southwest that it has its own museum in Albuquerque. It's Player 1. That is correct. Player 1. Also known as chrysoberyl, when cut a certain way, this gem produces a streak of light resembling the pupil of a certain animal. It's Player 1. That is correct. Player 1. Often a lemony color, this variety of quartz has a name derived from the type of fruit that a lemon is. Okay, Player 1. That's right. Way to go. Player 1. Silent screen star Mary Pickford bequeathed the Star of Bombay, a 182-carat one of these gems, to the Smithsonian. It's player 1. That's right. Way to go. Player 1. Utah's official state gem is this stone that's often golden, but can be pink or blue. Player 1. You are correct. Player 1. Competition from the new Chevrolet spurred Henry Ford to introduce this new model in 1927. Okay, player 1. Nope. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 3. Hey, you're right. All right, let's get back into this. Player 3 has fresh out of Columbia University in 1923. He debuted at the age of 20 with the New York Yankees. Okay, player 1. Correct. This evangelist made plenty of headlines in the 1920s, like in 1926 when she claimed to have been kidnapped. Player 1. Good. Please, the Bureau of Land Management can help you adopt one of these wild donkeys. Let's hear it, player 1. That's right. Way to go. As well as manly or virile, this word can mean sledgehammer. Let's hear it, player 1. That's right. Way to go. Whether after Cuba or not, it simply means free. Yes, player 1. You got it. Player 1. This can mean taste or flavor. Con mucho this means with great pleasure. It's player 1. Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about gusto. Here's the $2,000 clue. All right, here with the clue is Sarah.
In Spanish spelling, this mark above the N indicates that rather than una, the word should be pronounced uña.
Okay, player 1. Hey, you're right. All 3 of you will participate in Final Jeopardy right after this. So much depends on how you do in the Final Jeopardy category, which today is 16th century names. Please enter your wager. Here you are, players, the Final Jeopardy clue. Paul III roared at him, "I have waited 30 years for your services. Now I'm Pope. Can't I satisfy my desire?" Did you come up with the correct response?
Martin Luther.
And that will cost you
205.
Let's see your response.
Michelangelo.
And this correct response will add how much to your score?
$1,000. I'll see you all for another game.
Let's see your response. With that correct response, you will gain. This makes you our new champion, player 1, so congratulations. We'll see you all next time.